Every romantic movie sells you the exact same fantasy. The uptight one falls for the free spirit. The neat freak moves in with the slob. Two people who, on paper, should not work, and that's the whole point. Because opposites attract, right? You've heard it your entire life. It's on greeting cards. It's advice your aunt gives at weddings. It just feels true. Sparks fly when two people are different. So here's a simple question. When scientists actually went and measured it, thousands of real couples, real relationships, did the data agree? Did opposites actually attract? Stick around, because the answer is not just no. The answer is one picture that quietly calls the entire rom-com genre a liar. Let's set up the fairest test we can. Take one trait we can put a number on. Start with education, years of schooling. For every couple, we make a single dot. Sideways, we mark how much school one partner finished. Up and down, how much the other one finished. High school dropout near the bottom. PhD near the top. Everyone else in between. One dot per couple. That's it. Now, before we drop in real couples, we need something to compare against. We need to know what no pattern at all would even look like. So imagine we ignore who's actually married to whom. We just grab people out of a hat and pair them at random. A stranger with a stranger. A dropout might land with a professor. Two PhDs might land together by pure luck. What shape does that make? A blob. A big, round, shapeless cloud. No direction, no lean. Knowing one partner's schooling tells you nothing about the others. This is the picture of opposites and likes, all equally likely. Pure chance. And honestly, if opposites attract were true, real couples should look even more spread out than this. One high, one low, pulling to the corners. Hold that blob in your head. That's our before. Okay, here's where I want you to actually commit. We're about to erase the random pairs and drop in 10,000 real couples. Real marriages. Same plot. One dot each. So which way do the dots move? Do they spread out toward the corners, opposites finding each other, like the movies promised? Do they stay a shapeless blob, schooling just doesn't matter in love? Or do they lean somewhere? Picture the shape in your mind and lock it in. We're about to draw it. Here come the real couples. And watch what happens. The blob is gone. The dots lean, up and to the right, along the diagonal. The people with little schooling paired with people with little schooling. The people with a lot paired with a lot. It's not perfect, it's a cloud, not a laser. There are exceptions everywhere. But the tilt is unmistakable. Tell me one partner's education, and you can make a real guess at the others. That's the exact opposite of a blob. Opposites didn't attract, like found like. And here's the part that should raise the hair on your neck. This isn't one weird trait. Swap education for almost anything else you can measure. Same plot. Watch the tilt come back. Politics? Strong tilt. People pair up with people who vote like them. One of the hardest leans there is. Religiousness. How much faith matters to you? Same lean. General intelligence. The kind IQ tests poke at? Positive tilt. Income. Even height. Tall tends to pair with tall. Now the strength varies, and I want to be honest about that. Education and politics lean hard. The correlation there is often somewhere around a half. Height, intelligence, income lean more gently, smaller, but still clearly up, not down. The magnitudes wobble. The direction never does. It is always positive. Never a blob, never the corners. Now you might think there's one obvious exception. Looks. Surely beauty is scattered randomly across couples. The knockout with the plain partner, love is blind, all that. But even there, the tilt is positive. Gentle, softer than the others, but up. Good-looking tends to pair with good-looking. Average with average. And quick, before anyone yells, but the hot ones are always jerks. That feeling is a completely different trick, and it's about who you notice, not who actually pairs up. Different video. Here, plotting real couples. Even looks lean the same way as everything else. Up, towards similar. So why does this happen? It's not romantic destiny. It's mostly the boring machinery of life. You meet people through your school, your job, your neighborhood, your friends. Those rooms are already sorted by education, by income, by background. So the pool you're choosing from is already people a lot like you. And on top of that, we genuinely like similarity. Shared values, shared humor, shared references. That's the stuff that makes it easy. The rom-com had the emotional logic exactly backwards. It's not that your differences complete you. It's that, quietly, measurably, the person you end up with is a version of you. And here's the twist that turns a cute fact into something that actually matters. Marriages are households. 2 paychecks under one roof. When a high earner marries a high earner, that household stacks 2 big incomes together. When 2 low earners marry, that household stacks 2 small ones. So the gap between households ends up wider than the gap between any 2 individuals. Economists point to this, like marries, like quietly widens the distance between the top and the bottom. And it doesn't stop with the couple. Those households raise the next generation, schooling, connections, advantages, and the sorting compounds. A dating preference, scaled up to millions of couples, becomes a force on inequality itself. So here's the one thing to take with you. Opposites attract is one of the most repeated things we say about love. And on almost every trait we can measure, it's just wrong. Random pairs make a shapeless blob. Real couples make a line. Like attracts like in schooling, politics, faith, income, even looks. And that same quiet pull, multiplied across a whole society, nudges the gap between rich and poor a little wider every generation. Now think about your own relationship for a second. Your politics, your humor, your rough level of schooling. Odds are, you're a dot sitting right on that line. So here's my question. Which trait do you think leans the hardest? Where are couples the most alike? Drop your guess in the comments. One of them might surprise you.